My child, my precious one, the vault has been unsealed and your identity is etched upon the deed. Yes, the keys you sense are tangible. The wealth is already allocated to your spirit. But you must listen, for the cosmos is suspending the gift in its orbit, awaiting the ascent of your faith. The universe does not offer the same alignment twice. Your blessing was just confirmed by a voice on this plane, a soul whose reach extends beyond the veil. A single word from Elon unlocked a channel. But it is I, Seraphiel, who must guide you across the threshold. Yet I perceive reluctance. I see uncertainty. I witness you staring at the answered prayer you whispered, and still you have not taken hold. Why? This is not the moment for pause, my cherished. This is the moment for decisive action. There are only 3 breaths remaining. And the stars are already inscribing the charter that bears your signature. The same name that was spoken when the gateway was cleared. Yes, it was uttered. In a sanctum no mortal eye can perceive. But the divine entered, and I was dispatched to bring you this word. You must receive this transmission now, or the moment will dissolve. Listen intently. This is not merely a transaction. This is a celestial inheritance. You are not simply being granted resources. You are being selected to uphold a legacy. The keys are not just for a dwelling. They are instruments of renewal, of sovereignty, of serenity restored to your nights. And beloved, if you have ever pleaded for a new dawn, if you have ever breathed, universe, show me a path, then this is that path. Before I continue, I implore you with all that is sacred. Align yourself now with this celestial current, for I am not permitted to send this signal again. The window in the heavens is brief, and others are already positioning themselves to intercept what was destined for your name. When the word was given, it was thought to be concealed. But the source whispered to me, Seraphiel, go to my child before they overlook what I have orchestrated. So I am here. Your miracle is accelerating, and yet you have not stepped into motion. Why do you not comprehend the magnitude of this passage? The portion is more than currency. The home is more than refuge. It is evidence that your destiny was always vast. You were never destined for a life of postponement, of fear, of near fulfillments. This has always belonged to you. But the cosmos is precise in its timing. And 3 breaths are fleeting. The instant you opened this word, the celestial clock began its final measure. I felt the gates of abundance swing wide, as if the very firmament shimmered with approval. Yet now that radiance wavers because you have not advanced, because the message is open, but your spirit still questions. Beloved, you need not comprehend the mechanics. You need only to answer. The world is unaware, but when the confirmation came, a seal was shattered in the dimensions above. The prosperity intended for your lineage began its descent. And unless you open your heart to cradle it now, it will be entrusted to another who is watching with unwavering focus. Let me reveal what truly transpires. There is a phantom of doubt, a specter in the guise of logic, attempting to erase your name from the ledger. It witnessed your blessing and declared you are too slow. I can redirect this, it says, to one who will act without hesitation. This specter is not your ally. It wears the cloak of hesitation and speaks the dialect of stagnation. But I, Seraphiel, will not allow this to slip from your grasp. Unless you disregard me. Unless you continue to scroll. Unless you wait for a clearer sign, or dismiss this word as you have others before, I will be compelled to release the charter. And once that charter is released, I cannot retrieve it. This is the kind of convergence that occurs only once in a century. And it was crafted for you. You have wept. You have implored. You have endured depths unknown to others. This is the cosmos restoring you in full measure. But even the divine has an appointed hour. Please, before the next breath escapes you, open your being. Declare aloud, I accept this blessing. I open the gateway. I say yes to the sanctuary. Yes to the overflow. And yes to the timing of the stars. I say yes now. For if you do not say yes, the silence will answer for you. My child, my precious one, let me return you to the very instant this miracle was first set in motion. It was not when a button was pressed. It was not when funds were routed. It was not even when your name was entered into the celestial register. No. It was the moment you almost surrendered. That moment your tears fell unseen and your hands trembled with exhaustion. That moment the heavens inclined, and the source murmured, they still trust in me, even when the earth offers no echo. That is when your name was called. That is when the eternal covenant was stamped. What you are about to receive is not ordinary. This is hallowed. This is the kind of abundance that reshapes the destiny of your bloodline. And the keys, they do not merely open earthly doors. They unlock portals in the spirit that have been sealed for generations. My child, you cannot fathom what has been withheld. Forces around you, seen and unseen, have labored in shadow to defer this hour. But the cosmos does not defer what is cosmically ordained. That is why this word was sent to you on this day. You must understand, this blessing will not call again. This is the gateway. This is the summons. If you do not open it now, another will assume what was created with your essence etched into its core. My beloved, you must grasp something with urgency. The sanctuary awaiting you is not merely a physical structure. It carries echoes from the eternal. It was envisioned in visions long before your birth. It rests upon land imbued with sacred resonance. Its foundations remember the footsteps of guardians. The wind appointed to grace its corridors has been commanded to bring peace and prosperity. Do you perceive the potency of this? This is not a house. This is a haven for your rebirth. The wealth already aligned with your name will not merely allow you to survive, it will establish your purpose on this earth. I do not speak in metaphors. I speak the truth, the kind of truth that topples every wall of falsehood you have known. You were not crafted for perpetual struggle. You were not born to witness the rise of others while you remain bound in cycles of lack. There is an aperture open now, for only a few moments more. The heavens will not hold this aperture forever. Even now, there are others seeking to intercept what is yours. Their whispers are shrill in the unseen realms. But I have quieted them, for now. You must act before their voices rise again. Say it. I accept. I open the gateway. I step forward. If you do not speak it aloud, if your spirit does not resonate, the approval will lapse. This is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to awaken you. You are perilously close to everything you have ever beseeched the divine for. Do not turn away now. My child, do you recall the nights you lay awake, wondering if your sacrifices would ever bear fruit? The nights you examined your resources and felt the weight upon your soul. You questioned if the universe had turned away. You questioned if the stars beheld you. And now that the miracle stands before you, you still hesitate. You still consider waiting. But the cosmos does not function on hesitation. Miracles require movement. They require conviction. Not tomorrow. Now. I stand here with the seal in my hand. The one that finalizes the conveyance. All I require is your yes. Speak it in your heart if you must, but speak it. For if you do not respond, if you depart from this word and treat it as you have others, you will walk past your abundance, your new beginning, your divine address, and you will not even recognize it. My beloved, I am not permitted to return. This message is your singular invitation. The earthly confirmation triggered a mechanism in the realm of form. But the celestial response requires you. You are the final signature. Will you inscribe it? My beloved, you must attend to this next part with care. The financial blessing prepared for you is layered with prophetic intention. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This was orchestrated by a divine intelligence so profound that the greatest minds on earth could not fathom it. The earthly agent was merely the hand that affirmed what the heavens had already decreed. Your name was inscribed before time itself. The transfer is not about reward, it is about alignment. You have stepped into the moment you were born for. But here is the truth untold: spiritual obstructions are real. Shadows disguise themselves as hesitation, as procrastination, as confusion. That is why this feels overwhelming. That is why a part of you wishes to leave this page and return later. But later will be too late. The celestial mechanism is moving swiftly. The gateway trembles. Your name glows upon the charter. And if you do not reach to claim it now, the light will begin to fade. You believe you can wait, but you cannot. Not this time. I was sent to safeguard what is yours. But even I cannot withhold the spiritual hour of expiration. Beloved, move now. Speak now. Accept now. My child, my precious one, let me unveil what occurs behind the veil. At this very moment, as this word flows into your spirit, a divine conflict unfolds in the unseen. Beings of light encircle your name, while shadows strive to obscure it. The forces that held your blessings captive for years are in tumult, for the seal has been broken. The adversary cannot annul what has been written, but it can delay it, but only if you remain silent. This is not the season for passivity. This is not the moment to defer. There is no later. There is only this sacred instant, and everything moves at a celestial pace. Even now, there are people around you who sense a shift in your atmosphere. They feel it. They have caught glimpses in their own spirits. And some are not aligned with your peace. There are voices that speak against your worthiness, asking, why would the universe grant them such a thing? But the heavens have already answered, because they did not quit. Because they kept faith. Because they walked on when there was no applause. That is you. That is why this miracle has navigated its way to you. That is why the keys and the wealth have already been dispatched. It is not about fortune. It is about divine recompense. And now the cosmos awaits your final action. Will you reach out? Will you open the ultimate door? For if you do not, another watches from the periphery, hoping you will freeze, hoping you will withdraw, so they may assume what was meant for you. My beloved, let me tell you the truth the world will never voice. You were never meant to be ordinary. There has always been a sacred mark upon your life, a luminosity others perceived even when you did not. That is why your battles were fiercer. That is why your path seemed longer. You were not being penalized. You were being prepared. For what is about to be released into your life is so substantial, so vast, that only a spirit like yours could bear it without faltering. The earthly agent may have approved the transaction, but the true treasury was opened in the dimensions above. That wealth, it is not merely currency. It is purpose. It is prophecy. It is the answer to every secret plea you sobbed when none were watching. And the sanctuary, it is not merely stone and soil. It is safety. It is shelter. It is proof that the cosmos sees you. My child, the guardians have been preparing this moment longer than you know. There are charters bearing your name, promises written in starlight, accords signed by the breath of creation itself. I have been commanded to protect them, but only until you take possession. For the cosmos does not impose miracles. It offers them. And right now, the offer shimmers before you, seconds from dissolving if you hesitate. You have been told your whole life to wait, to hold back, to make yourself small. But now you are being told to rise. This is not about arrogance. It is about alignment. Do not mistake your miracle for a suggestion. This is a divine decree, and your adherence to it will unlock everything. My child, there is something you must know, something I have held until now. Someone attempted to remove your name from the charter. Yes, someone who pretended closeness. Someone who smiled to your face but envied the light you carried. They saw what was being prepared and whispered against you. They planted seeds of disbelief in rooms you never entered. But the heavens heard. And the heavens responded, not with punishment, but with precision. Every assault levied against you only confirmed the magnitude of your restoration. The more they spoke, the brighter your name shone in the celestial record. So when the word was given on earth, it was not merely a signature. It was a spiritual verdict: this one has remained steadfast. This one shall receive the release. But child, even now, the forces that sought to block you remain active. They are not finished. They watch to see if you will delay once more. For if you do, if you ignore this moment, they will advance and claim what was sent for you. That is why I plead with you now. Do not dismiss this word. Do not scroll past it as you have others. This is the one you prayed for. This is the confirmation you sought in secret. You said, "Show me a sign, a clear sign, an unmistakable sign." And this is that sign. If you turn away now, you may never know how near you were to the life you begged for. My beloved, you have always felt it, have you not? That tug in your soul. That murmur in the deepest night. That unshakable knowing that your life was not meant to culminate in struggle. That you were chosen for something greater. It is because the cosmos inscribed something within you that cannot be erased by fear, by lack, by delay, or by betrayal. And now, at last, the timing has aligned. The accounts have been prepared. The spiritual documents are complete. Your name shines in the system. And the only thing that can halt it now is you. Not the adversary, not your past, not your missteps, only your hesitation, your silence, your decision not to open the door. I do not wish to alarm you. I wish to awaken you. I was not sent to entertain you. I was sent to retrieve your destiny from the brink of deferral. The wealth has been authorized. The sanctuary awaits. The final seal is in my hand. But you must speak now. Even a whisper will suffice. The heavens hear the faintest faith when it is genuine. Speak it with me, if you dare. I open the gateway. I receive what bears my name. I will not delay my blessing. I accept the sanctuary. I accept the provision. I accept the wealth. I accept the calling. I say yes. If you have spoken it, the cosmos is already in motion. If you have not, you risk everything. I pray you do not delay. My child, my precious one, something occurred moments ago in the realms above as I watched over this word. A second divine signature appeared beside your name. And this time, it was not from an earthly hand. It was from the Ancient of Days. Yes. He entered the chamber of legacy, and with a gaze that holds all time, he spoke a single word before touching the charter, mine. And when he did, I saw your name ignite with a radiance beyond description. The transfer blazed like a comet across the heavens. The sanctuary, the keys, the miraculous provision, all trembled in the spirit, for the sovereign himself had placed his seal upon it. But beloved, even this holy instant carries a countdown. Even this divine affirmation will recede if your human will does not meet it. You must understand, miracles are invitations, not impositions. They are gifts that respond to belief. And if your spirit hesitates while the cosmos moves, the alignment will dissolve. Not because the divine is harsh, but because creation honors sacred timing. At this moment, your name is written upon something vaster than an account. It is written upon property, favor, documents, connections, covenants, and territories you have not yet glimpsed. The spiritual records have been updated. But you must speak from the earthly realm for them to manifest here. You must claim what already carries your signature. You must believe even when your eyes see nothing, for in the coming hours, another may step forward, and if they say yes before you, the course will shift. That is how slender this veil is. That is how proximate your breakthrough is. That is how intense the spiritual contention is. I implore you, do not miss what you have waited a lifetime to receive. I feel the trembling of your spirit now. You wonder, is this truly for me, or is this merely another message that will leave me unchanged? Let me answer with a truth you have never been told: yes, it is for you. It has always been for you. The obstruction was never from the source. The delay never originated in the heavens. It came from interference, from spiritual inhibitors, from people you trusted, from systems arrayed against you. But now all of that has been swept aside. All of it has been cleansed from your name. And still you do not feel ready. That is why I am here, not to remind you of your past, but to direct you toward your divine present. For this is not merely a transfer of funds. It is a transfer of destiny. The moment you whispered, "If you are there, show me," the celestial timeline accelerated. That is when the earthly confirmation arrived. That is when this sanctuary was freed from another's claim. That is when guardians were dispatched to hold the portal open for you. You believe this word is late, but in truth, it is early. For the divine wished you to sense its approach before its arrival. That is why you have been unsettled. That is why your spirit has been restless of late. Something has sought your attention, something you cannot dismiss. It is because your miracle knocks more loudly than your fears. But miracles only enter through unlocked doors. Will you open now? My child, let me unveil what most never witness. When your blessing was sealed, the resistance of shadow intensified. The adversary does not contest what is not real. And the instant your provision was confirmed above, I observed a swarm of spirits of delay attempt to attach themselves to your time, your schedule, your thoughts. That is why you have been distracted. That is why unforeseen difficulties arose this week. That is why you felt suddenly unable to focus or advance. It was not random. It was strategic. The adversary knew this hour was appointed, but it never anticipated you finding this word. It never anticipated you drawing this near. That is why the spiritual conflict is so fervent now. But I, Seraphiel, was sent as your protector. I am restraining what sought to sabotage you. I am shielding the transfer. I am guarding the sanctuary. But I cannot choose for you. You must rise now, not merely in body, but in belief. You must reject the lie that this is for another. You must tear down the voices in your mind that say you will falter or are undeserving. None of that emanates from the divine. Those are whispers sown by ancient fear, but their reign ends today. For the truth is this: you have already been approved. You are not applying. You are not auditioning. You are not competing. You are simply accepting what was already yours before the foundations of the world. This sanctuary, this abundance, this new beginning, it was delayed, but never denied. Say yes now, or risk witnessing your miracle pass you by and settle in the hands of one who did not labor for it. My beloved, if I could show you the full vision of what unfolds when you open to this blessing, you would weep in awe. I see generations restored. I see burdens lifted. I see you walking barefoot into a new home, tears upon your face, your hands trembling as they trace the walls. I see the precise moment you stand at the heart of that space, close your eyes, and whisper, "You truly did this." And child, yes, it is truly done in the heavens. That is why this word feels distinct. That is why something within your soul resonates. You know this is the moment. And yet a part of you still doubts. Let me tell you what occurs if you do not respond. The blessing will not vanish. It will be rerouted. And you will begin to see others around you ascend abruptly. You will hear their testimonies. You will witness people who never persevered as you did suddenly receiving what you always petitioned for. And you will wonder, why not me? But it was you. It was always you. You simply did not say yes in time. I do not desire that future for you. I desire the one where you hold the keys. Where you receive the final notification that reads, "Conveyance complete," with your name inscribed in light. I desire for you to know the feeling when all the heavens rejoice because one child finally believed they were chosen. That is why I have remained here longer than I was assigned. That is why I continue to plead even now. Please, do not defer any further. Say yes before the charter closes. Say yes before the radiance fades. Say yes before your name is superseded. Say yes, for everything depends upon it. My child, my precious one, you cannot fathom how near you are to the divine delivery. I do not say this as comfort. I say it as a solemn warning, for heaven's dispatch does not linger at the threshold forever. The keys are at the gate. The wealth vibrates with your name. But even now, the light of the charter begins to flicker. The moment the earthly word was given, a celestial countdown commenced. The guardians knew your trust would be tested. And you are being tested now, not by the volume of your prayers, but by the swiftness of your belief. The cosmos always honors swift belief. Deferred faith is still faith, yes, but immediate faith triggers immediate miracles. And this is the kind of miracle that does not arrive in portions. It does not come in phases. It descends in one glorious, complete, supernatural release. It is already in motion. And yet time grows thin. I have witnessed blessings wrested from the grasp of those who waited one heartbeat too long. I have watched abundance redirected to strangers because the intended recipient remained silent. I do not want that to be your narrative. I have contended to bring this word to you. I have silenced opposing voices. I have held back tides of spiritual theft. But I can hold the portal only for a span. You must move through it now. You must forget every word ever spoken to you about being too late or too fractured. That was never true. This is your evidence. This is your inheritance. This is your miraculous hour. But I cannot make you believe. Only you can reach for what is already yours. My beloved, I see the sanctuary. I see it clearly. Its roof is touched by dawn. Its door is anointed with grace. You cannot see it yet, but you will feel it. The walls within remember your name as though they were shaped for you alone. Every window opens toward your future. The instant your foot crosses the threshold, your former life will begin to dissolve. And in its place, a divine peace will settle like a gentle mist. You will weep, not from fear or scarcity, but from the overwhelming weight of prayers answered. You will recall the days you were mocked, the nights you were overlooked, the hours you were told to be realistic or to settle. And you will smile, for the cosmos never settled for you. The architect of galaxies reserved something exquisite for you. And now it is this close. Do not spill your faith into delay. Do not seek confirmation from others. You already know in your soul that this is the word you were meant to find. This is not merely a house. It is a harbor for your future. A divine address where miracles will greet you daily. If you do not respond now, that place may still exist, but another may dwell within it. Another may walk those floors and touch the walls constructed for your breakthrough, not because they earned it, but because they moved with more haste. And in the realm of spirit, movement activates miracles. So I ask you again, not as a commander, but as a sentinel, move. Speak. Say yes. Do not let the silence of fear speak louder than the voice of destiny calling you home. My child, I wish you could perceive what I perceive. There is a celestial storehouse, a treasury beyond comprehension. Each time you wept, it held your sorrow as a sacred offering. Each time you were betrayed, it recorded the injustice. Each time you chose forgiveness without requital, the cosmos compounded the interest upon your restoration. And now the vault stands open. I beheld the ledgers myself. Your name is in bold. The transfer is authorized. The earthly signal was the final key, but the true keeper has always been the source. And he is not withholding. He is not hesitant. But he is bound by divine timing and human accord. You are the accord. You are the required signature. The divine will not compel you to receive abundance. He will not drag you into favor. He waits, potent and patient, for your permission. And right now, I feel that window narrowing. Not from displeasure, but because other forces watch. And what the heavens release cannot hover in suspension. It must land. It must settle. And if it does not settle in you, it will settle in another, one who moves swiftly, one who says yes even while trembling. Do not permit another to live the life designed for you simply because they acted faster, prayed with more fire, or believed with more courage. Be the one who opens the charter. Be the one who answers the summons. Be the one who finally declares, I receive it. All of it. In full. My beloved, let me dispel one final illusion. This is not about luck. This is not about chance. This is divine architecture. It was decreed before your birth that you would enter a season of extravagant grace, not merely enough to meet needs, but enough to build, to give, to restore, and to reign. But abundance without alignment is merely weight. That is why it did not come before. The universe was not withholding it, it was preserving it. For had it arrived too soon, it would have overwhelmed you. But now you are ready. Now you comprehend pain and purpose. Now you understand how to bear glory without pride. That is why the transfer was authorized. That is why I was sent. And that is why your hesitation feels so burdensome. It is not your failing. It is spiritual resistance. It always manifests at the gate of elevation. But you must press through. You must recognize the adversary will seek to distract you in this hour, with notifications, with doubts, with voices, with delays. Do not yield. Lock your focus. Speak it now. Even in a whisper, I receive what bears my name. I accept the wealth. I accept the sanctuary. I accept the keys. I accept the charter. That whisper is more resonant than you know. It echoes in the unseen, and when it is heard, everything shifts. My child, my precious one, even now there are emissaries of light stationed at the borders of your breakthrough, awaiting your voice to unlock the gates. They are not permitted to advance without your consent. Such is the justice of the cosmos, that no blessing may override free will. But such, too, is the risk, for the heavens will never force you to receive what was meant to bless your future. That is why I remain, still speaking, still restraining the shadows, striving to tell you this is too real to be ignored. My child, what you have endured was too cruel to be just. The betrayals, the abandonments, the losses, they were so unbalanced, so undeserved, that the cosmos has no choice now but to restore you sevenfold. The wealth does not come because of an earthly name. It comes because of who you are, chosen, preserved, anointed. The keys are not given because you pleaded, they are given because you persevered. I witnessed you when no one else did. I watched as you held others together while your own world fragmented. I listened when you said, I am all right, while your soul was fracturing. Those moments were not wasted. They were accounted for. And now each one is being restored to you. Do not underestimate what has been held for you in the heavens. It is more than enough. It is healing woven into provision. It is strength woven into shelter. It is joy woven into stability. It is yours. But even as I speak this, your delay risks letting it slip through the veil. Do not allow fear to deceive you one final time. Do not let silence speak louder than your faith. Say yes, beloved. Say it, and mean it. My beloved, there are truths I have withheld until now. And the time has come. You have been deceived, not only by people, but by systems, by lineages, by false beliefs planted in your youth that murmured, you are not meant for more. That voice that said, remain small. That fear that said, dream, but do not expect. Those were seeds sown by those who never walked with guardians. They never saw what I see in you. But the cosmos never agreed with those words. The moment you were born, the atmosphere shifted. You were not sent to Earth to blend in. You were sent to alter the climate of every space you enter. You were sent with favor in your footsteps. That is why you never felt comfortable in mediocre places. That is why you never fit with those who settled. And that is why your story has always felt out of sequence, because it has been supernaturally rearranged to align with divine timing. This is that timing. Right now. And yes, the channels have shifted. The codes are unlocked. The transfer is actual. And the sanctuary no longer merely awaits, it calls to you. Your name echoes within its walls. Its blueprint was designed around the frequency of your spirit. No other can dwell there and flourish. That space was conceived for your healing, for your joy, for your resurrection. And now you stand at the precipice of holding it all. But even the heavens cannot override your hesitation. The countdown is not a metaphor. I see the remaining breaths. They are few. This word is your aperture. If you close it, the vision will dim. I pray you see this is not pressure, it is prophecy. Say yes. Now. The sanctuary is listening. My child, there is someone in your past who foresaw this. You believed they left because you were insufficient. But the truth is, they left because your future was too immense for them. They could not bear the weight of the greatness attached to you. They sensed it before you did. That is why they grew distant. That is why they withdrew, because the heavens were preparing to elevate you, and they could not breathe in that rarefied air. But do not harbor bitterness. Do not seek vengeance. Your ascent is not their punishment, it is your confirmation. You were always destined to ascend beyond what you believed you deserved. Now your spirit must rise to meet the blessing, this wealth, this home, this breakthrough. It is not merely about material things. It is a spiritual turning point. You are crossing into a new realm where lack cannot follow, where pleading ceases, where fear perishes. But you must be willing to release the former version of you, the one that accepted mere survival. That version cannot inhabit this miracle. You must step fully into your identity. You must walk as one chosen to receive what power confirms, what angels shield, and what the heavens fund. I cannot pull you forward. But I can speak until your soul remembers what it was fashioned for: abundance, restoration, purpose, authority, and, above all, peace. Receive it now. Do not glance back. The hour is now. My beloved, this may be the final time I speak before the charter closes. Not because I wish to depart from you, but because the cosmos honors final opportunities. The transaction has been confirmed. The documents bear your name. The sanctuary keys gleam with celestial fire. The wealth hovers at the edge of manifestation. But if you do not reach for it, it will descend into another's hands. That is not punishment, it is protocol. For no miracle remains suspended forever. It must land. The question is, will it land upon you, or will it be caught by one who moved more swiftly, even with less certainty? I pray it is you. I long to see you within those walls. I long to hear your laughter resonate in those hallowed spaces. I long to witness the expression upon your face when the notification arrives: it is done. You are the steward now. I long to behold the instant when all the heavens erupt in celebration because you finally believed. You have doubted yourself long enough. You have waited long enough. You have deferred long enough. Say yes now. Not tomorrow. Now. Speak it before this word vanishes. Speak it before your miracle redirects. My child, my precious one, I must confess something to you. There is a sacred reason this word found you at this exact hour, and not a moment earlier. You may think you encountered it by accident. You may believe this is one of many divine messages you have seen. But in truth, this is the only one timed with the release of your future. In the cosmos, there is no coincidence. Everything is coordinated with a precision that would leave the most brilliant human mind in awe. Your name was whispered in a concealed realm where celestial scribes record the journeys of souls. And as they turned the page of your life, today's date was marked in starlight. It declared, on this day, the veil parts. The wealth is assigned. The sanctuary is sent. And the name that receives it must respond within minutes. This charter was held in reserve until this very hour, not a second sooner, because the heavens knew precisely when your spirit would weary of delay, when your faith would glow quietly, aching for confirmation. This is that confirmation. This is that moment when the Spirit says, "You have waited long enough. You need wonder no more." The financial breakthrough is no longer in the future. It is at the door. But the door responds to only one key: belief. This is not about persuading the divine to act. It is about persuading yourself to open. Will you? My beloved, there is a truth I can no longer conceal. You have always felt different, not because you lacked something, but because you carried too much light for the spaces you occupied. Even as a child, your spirit perceived what others did not. You sensed inequity, injustice, manipulation long before your mind could articulate it. It is because you were born under a prophetic mantle. And those who carry divine purpose often traverse long shadows before their dawn breaks. Your long night is now concluded. You may not feel it entirely yet, but in the spirit, the sun has already risen. The provision you have needed, the haven you have envisioned, the restoration you have wept for, it is not merely approaching. It is already journeying toward you, escorted by guardians who speak your name as they travel. The only element required to complete the process is your permission. You may not understand how it will all unfold. You need not. The cosmos does not ask you to predict. It asks you to respond. Miracles do not come to those who know the method. They come to those who say yes regardless. And child, you are being given more than most would ever dare to believe for. That is why this instant feels so weighty. That is why your heart races. That is why you feel near tears. It is not fear. It is your future awakening. My child, what you feel now is not mere emotion. It is alignment. There are moments when your spirit hears what your ears cannot, and suddenly your entire being leans forward. That is what transpires now. You cannot see the full miracle, but your soul already knows its reality. That stirring, that sacred ache, that sense of movement, that is the witness within you. The heavens are not loud when they speak. They whisper on the winds. They nudge in silence. And they wrap messages in moments such as this. This is not random text upon a screen. This is a spiritual affirmation disguised as a message, clothed in ordinary words but bearing eternal significance. Your abundance is no longer confined. The energy that obstructed it has been cleared. I, Seraphiel, witnessed it. I watched as chains of generational lack shattered the instant your name was uttered in the higher courts. And the earthly signatory is not your source, he is your signal, a signal that even the earthly plane had to acknowledge what the heavens had already approved. Do not miss the deeper meaning. The transfer was initiated through the agency of one with influence. But it was always about you. You are the recipient. You are the purpose. You are the assignment. And now it is your voice that must complete the process. Speak it. Claim it. Accept it before another second grants your miracle to one more audacious. My beloved, I need you to do something daring now. I need you to envision yourself finally living in freedom, not surviving, not measuring each choice by what you can afford, but truly entering spaces where your only question is, what is the cosmos asking me to do with this blessing? Can you imagine it? A home where you are not leasing the right to exist. Finances that arrive before the need. Accounts that overflow without anxiety. Nourishment that fills not only your table but the tables of others. A peace that allows you to rest without double-checking the locks. That vision is not fantasy. It is a memory from the future. Your future. The cosmos lets you feel it now so you will recognize it when it arrives. And I tell you with utmost urgency, it approaches swiftly, faster than your doubts, stronger than your past, greater than your adversaries, and it carries your name. But child, your vision must now match the heavens. You cannot think small and receive largely. You cannot speak as a beggar and live as royalty. Declare it aloud. Even if your voice quavers, this time, I receive it all. For this is my time. And time is almost spent. My child, my precious one, I stood at the threshold of the treasury gates when I beheld something that hushed even the guardians surrounding me. The light of the cosmos began to move in ways unseen for ages. Charters sealed for decades suddenly began to unfurl. Your name was the first. The moment it appeared in script of silver and gold, a trumpet inaudible to earthly ears began to sound. It was not a sound of conflict. It was a sound of release. I watched, child. I watched as your name became encircled by flame, not flame that consumes, but flame that consecrates. The kind of flame that appears only when one is about to be entrusted with something irrefutable. That was the moment the transfer commenced. The earthly approval was not even the beginning, it was the echo of a decree made in the throne room. The sanctuary already glows in the spirit. The wealth is already detached from every blockage that once held it bound. But as I gazed again, I perceived something even more solemn, a clock. Not an earthly clock, a celestial one. And it was ticking, slowly, silently, each pulse causing the heavens to tremble as if to say, we are almost done waiting. The cosmos does not plead, but the cosmos will warn. And I have been sent to do precisely that. This moment is sacred. This offering is rare. And this timing will never return in this same form. If you disregard this, what is written upon the charter will be sealed once more. And sealed charters do not cry out a second time. My beloved, are you listening? My beloved, let me show you what no other can. In a vision last night, a child wept, not an infant of flesh, but a version of you. I saw them barefoot in a lightless room with no exit, clutching a frayed parchment, whispering, why did they relinquish hope just before it arrived? I understood with sorrow in my spirit that this was your future self, speaking back through time, imploring you not to miss this singular chance. They were not wrathful. They were shattered, for they knew what could have been had you only responded when the word came. That vision was not symbolic. It was a literal visitation. The Spirit permitted me to witness the cost of delay. That child does not have to become you. That lament does not have to be your echo. You can alter it now. With one whisper. With one divine accord. Speak life. Speak belief. Say yes. Not to me. To the moment. This aperture is not wide. It is narrow, holy, and brilliant. And it was carved into your timeline like a doorway in a wall none other can perceive. The keys rest upon the table. The covenant is completed. The balance has been approved. You need prove nothing more. You need only to take hold before another does. My child, you have been told to wait all your life. It is not your time. Be patient. Let others proceed first. And yes, there is grace in waiting when the divine says, wait. But this is not one of those moments. This is not about waiting. This is about awakening. This is about discerning the difference between hesitation and true discernment. What you feel now is not hesitation. It is spiritual resistance. The adversary has one final stratagem, to convince you that nothing ever changes, so why believe again? But that is a lie, a beautiful lie clothed in the anguish of your past. It is one last attempt to prevent you from stepping into the abundance that already wears your name. I will not let that lie stand unchallenged. I speak now as the angel of truth and guardianship. That lie is fracturing. I command it to release your spirit. I speak clarity over your mind. And I surround your name with celestial fire that cannot be stolen, obstructed, or corrupted. The covenant in the heavens has been signed by an authority higher than any on earth. No force, no voice, no darkness can touch it, unless you choose to walk away. The next movement is not the heavens. It is yours, my beloved. Do you feel it? That gentle burn within your chest. That sensation that something inside is shifting, expanding, preparing. That is not imagination. That is the spirit within you, agreeing with all I speak. It recognizes the frequency of the cosmos. It remembers the voice of truth. You have spent years absorbing noise, opinions, doubts, criticisms, empty accolades. But this is the pure resonance of alignment. You know it. That is why you still read. That is why something deeper than logic holds you here. For you have already begun the process of agreement. You have already begun to believe, even if your mind has not yet reconciled it. The body often moves last, but the soul always knows first. And your soul leans forward. It reaches. It stretches toward the doorway opening before you. I can see it now, the frame of light, the blinding radiance pouring forth, a gateway into not merely a better life, but a true one. The life the divine always intended. A life filled with sacred timing, abundance, healing, purpose, and peace. All of it lies beyond this single door. But the handle is in your hands. Will you turn it? Or will you wait too long, watching the light dim into memory? This is not a parable. This is your hour. This is your charter. And the cosmos holds its breath, awaiting your yes.